Hello and welcome to Galaxy Primetime News. My name is Nenwar Ngimazaka. I will begin with the headlines. President Bola Tinubu officially requests the Senate confirmation of Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluide as the substantive Chief of Army Staff. President Bola Tinubu congratulates the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited on the successful revitalization of the Port Harcourt refinery. On the foreign scene, Russia expels a British diplomat after accusing him of espionage. This is what more we come to you shortly. Do stay with us. And now the news in full. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria has raised the country's interest rate by 25 basis points to 27.50% in November from 27.25% in September 2024. The governor of CBN, Olayemi Cardoso, disclosed this during a press briefing on Tuesday after the 298 MPC meeting in Abuja. The committee was unanimously in its agreement to raise the monetary policy rate by 25 basis points to 27.50%, he said. Cardoso noted that the decision to raise the country's MPR is to tackle inflation, which stood at 33.87% in October 2024. He also announced that the cash reserve ratio was retained at 50 basis points, from 45% to 50% for deposit money banks and from 14% to 16% for merchant banks. Former Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State has returned to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) to honor another invitation over alleged misappropriation of funds. Bello went to the office with his lawyers on Tuesday morning following the Supreme Court judgment which dismissed a suit brought by some states of the Federation on the constitutionality of the anti-graft agency. Bello drove himself to the EFCC's office in his car with his lawyers. At the last hearing on November 14, the EFCC had sought for adjournment till November 27 in the fresh case it instituted against Bello, saying that the 30-day window was still running for the summons earlier issued. President Bola Tinubu extends his heartfelt congratulations to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) on the successful revitalization of the Port Harcourt refinery, marked by the official commencement of petroleum product loading on November 26, 2024. Bayo Ononuga, Special Advisor to the President, Information and Strategy, in a statement said the President acknowledges the pivotal role of former President Muhammadu Buhari in initiating the comprehensive rehabilitation of all refineries and expresses gratitude to the African Export-Import Bank for its confidence in financing the critical project. According to Ononuga, President Tinubu commends the leadership of NNPC Limited Group Chief Executive Officer Mele Kyari, whose unwavering dedication and commitment were instrumental in overcoming challenges to achieve this milestone. He said with the successful revival of the Port Harcourt refinery, President Tinubu urges NNPC Limited to expedite the scheduled reactivation of both the second Port Harcourt refinery and the Warri and Kaduna refineries. The effort will significantly enhance domestic production capacity alongside the contribution of privately owned refineries and make the country a major energy hub, with the gas sector also enjoying unprecedented attention by the administration. President Bola Tinubu also will depart Abuja on Wednesday to begin a state visit to France in honor of an invitation from President Emmanuel Macron. The Nigerian leader's three-day visit, which will focus on strengthening political, economic and cultural education, health, youth engagement and employment, innovation and energy transition, promises significant benefit for Nigeria. Bayo Ononuga, Special Advisor to the President, Information and Strategy, in a statement said President Tinubu and his wife, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, will be received on Thursday at the 350-year-old French Military Museum, Les Invalides and Palais d'Élysée by Macron and his spouse Brigitte for initial ceremonies that will dovetail into bilateral meetings. Ononuga said during the visit, President Tinubu and President Macron will harmonize positions on stimulating more interest in exchange programs that focus on skill development for youth and improving their competences in automation, entrepreneurship, innovation, and leadership. Both leaders will participate in political and diplomatic meetings, highlighting shared values on finance, solid minerals, trade and investment, and communication. They will also witness a session by the France-Nigeria Business Council, which oversees private sector participation in economic development. President Bola Tinubu has officially requested the Senate confirmation of Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede as the substantive Chief of Army Staff. The letter, read during Tuesday's plenary by Senate President Godswill Akpabio, cited Section 218, Subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution as amended and Section 18, Subsection 1 of the Armed Forces Act as the basis for the confirmation request. General Oluyede was appointed Acting Chief of Army Staff on October 30th following the illness of Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, who passed away on November 5th.
Confirmation of appointment of Lieutenant General O.O. Oluyede as Chief of Army Staff. In accordance with the provisions of Section 218, Subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, and Section 18, Subsection 1 of the Armed Forces Act, I am pleased to forward for confirmation by the Senate the appointment of Lieutenant General Oluyede as the Chief of Army Staff of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Lieutenant General O.O. Oluyede has been serving diligently in an acting capacity since his appointment.
Correspondent Kuluju reports that the Senate is expected to deliberate on the request and proceed with the confirmation process in the coming days. Senate President therefore referred the matter to Committee on Army for input and further consideration. The Nigerian Senate has clarified a constitutional error in its resolution to remove Yakubu Danladi Umar as chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal (CCT). During Tuesday's plenary, the Senate corrected its earlier citation, stating that Section 17, Subsection 3 of the 5th Schedule of the 1999 Constitution, not Section 157, governs such matters. The correction followed a motion by Senate Leader Opeyemi Bamidele while addressing the misstep during Tuesday's plenary.
Need to correct the mistake regarding the removal from office of the chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal for misconduct. The Senate notes a mistake in its earlier resolution adopted at its plenary sitting of Wednesday, 20th November 2024, regarding the removal from office of the chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal.
Correspondent Kuluju reports that the Senate President Godswill Akpabio acknowledged the error, emphasizing that while the legal basis was initially misquoted, the decision to remove the CCT chairman for misconduct remains valid.
For your humility as the leader of the Senate, and also thank the clerk of the Senate. The only group in the world, or the only person that cannot make mistake in the world, is God Almighty. Only God is above mistake. So the earlier referred section was talking about the removal of the chairman of the Code of Conduct Bureau, not Code of Conduct Tribunal.
You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News, and coming up next. The House of Representatives calls on the federal government to urgently enhance security at transmission towers nationwide to prevent vandalism. Details of these and more will come to you shortly. Please stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle with Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comment, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. The House of Representatives, like the Senate, has invoked the provisions of paragraph 17, subsection 3, part 1, 5th schedule of the Constitution to call for the removal of Umar Danladi, chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal, CCT. Honorable Julius Nhuvere, who moved the motion, cited paragraph 17, subsection 3, part 1, 5th schedule of the Constitution and section 22, section 3 of the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal Act, which mandates the President to act on an address supported by a two-thirds majority of both the Senate and the House of Representatives to remove the chairman for misconduct. The House highlighted Danladi's recent public altercation with a security guard at the Banex Plaza shopping complex in Abuja, an incident that led to his invitation by the Senate Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct and Public Petitions. While Danladi initially appeared before the committee and admitted to the altercation, he later refused to attend further hearings, thereby obstructing the committee's investigation into the allegations against him.
Knows that a statutory institution of such magnitude is expected to be an epitome of moral rectitude and virtues of integrity, probity, and accountability. However, the official conduct of Mr. Yakubu Danladi Umar, chairman of the tribunal, has fallen short of the requisite standard of a public officer to conduct the affairs of such a tribunal.
Mr. Speaker, citing this order of the Constitution, I want to observe that the Constitution provided the President to initiate the process for the removal of the chairman of the Code of Conduct. And I believe this House is yet to receive a communication from Mr. President in that regard. So I want to preach with all sense of humility.
Thank you, Honorable Manu. And the Senate has already taken action in this subject matter. Ours is just for concurrence. And we are accordingly guided by the provision of two-thirds, of which I'm sure members, even in respect of Mr. President's directive, as well as the position already taken on bipartisan basis by the Senate, should be respected by this hallowed chamber.
In another development, President Bola Tinubu has requested the House of Representatives to confirm Olufemi Oluide as the substantive Chief of Army Staff The request read by Speaker Tajuddin Abbas during Tuesday's plenary is in line with Section 218, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution as amended and Section 18, subsection 1 of the Armed Forces Act. Also, the House of Representatives has called on the federal government through the Ministry of Interior to urgently enhance security at transmission towers nationwide to prevent vandalism. This resolution follows a motion of urgent public importance moved by Honorable Obuku Ofoji during Tuesday's plenary. Ofoji highlighted the July 29 incident in Yenagoa, Bayelsa, where the collapse of a transmission station disrupted power supply, affecting socio-economic activities in the state.
As we speak, the people of the state are in total blackout. This has been the situation for over 4 months. Cognizant that the effort of the Bayelsa State government in mobilizing financial and material resources to support the Transition Company of Nigeria, TCN, is highly commended. However, proactive measures must be taken to forestall future occurrences of vandalism of these transmission towers.
In another motion, the House urged the Federal Ministry of Education to pilot the use of local languages as a medium of instruction in selected schools across the country. This was proposed by Honorable Kalejaye Paul with the Committees on Basic Education and Legislative Compliance mandated to report on its progress within 4 weeks.
Aware that the use of local language will lead to strengthening the lead teacher-student connectivity. Also aware that promoting the use of our local language in our teaching instruction will also enhance the mother tongue, which of course is going into extinction.
The House also mandated the Committee on Housing and Habitat to work with the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development to address Nigeria's housing deficit. Honorable Emmanuel Upongudo noted the lack of reliable housing data, citing a World Population Reviews report that over 24 million Nigerians are homeless.
Worried that Nigeria is among the top 10 countries with homeless populations, leading with 24 million, followed by Pakistan, Egypt, Syria, and Congo. Also worried that Nigeria relies on the World Bank report for housing data, as well as a market that works efficiently and provides decent shelter for its citizens. Cognizant that for a nation to grow, achieve peace, and enjoy stability, there is a need to have a housing data, as well as market that works efficiently and provides decent shelter for its citizens.
The House of Representatives has passed a bill to strengthen Ministry of Finance Incorporated for second reading. Stating the general principles of the new bill, sponsor of the bill, Honorable Ademorin Kuye, described it as a pivotal piece of legislation designed to ensure the effective ownership and accountability in the use, custodianship and management of federal government assets. He said the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, MOFI, was established in 1999 by an Act of Parliament to serve as the sole custodian of federal government assets throughout the Federation, adding that the organization has not operated as it should since its establishment as a result of a pillage, brigade abandonment, diversion, misappropriation, and abuse of federal assets. Throughout the country, he said the old Act of 1959 contains only 6 sections without the needed impetus for the corporation to assume its role in modern Nigeria, necessitating the new Act, which is introducing a comprehensive framework of 49 sections for the conduct, management, use, and custodianship of federal government assets. Okuye, who heads the House Committee on Public Assets, said when passed, the law will reinvigorate MOFI by providing the necessary institutional framework to guide its corporate governance and establish its organizational structure.
It will help to increase the revenue that is accruing to the country and help to block leakages, to increase the value of the national asset portfolio, increase the economic growth and job creation in the country.
The refusal of truck drivers and their owners to adhere strictly with laid-down rules and regulations of transporting containers on the truck of articulated trucks has snuffed out lives of several promising souls in this country. These are common incidents on Nigerian roads where containers would fall on cars because the containers were not safely latched to the truck. Galaxy News correspondent Lebby Joseph has more in this report.
Each corner of the back chassis of a truck features a set of pin locks that fit into slots on the corner fittings of containers. The container is expected to be fastened to the chassis manually by pushing in or rotating the twist locks. But for the lawlessness of some of these drivers and their owners, containers are being transported on Nigerian roads unlatched.
The problem that we have, like in some other areas too, is the problem of enforcement. I know that before now, Governor Fashola will drive around Lagos and you don't know, and he will arrest and sack if you were very conversant with, you know, some of the policies of his government then. These days, you see most of these people carrying container and not observing all the rules.
Particularly in Lagos State, where almost every now and then containerized vehicles, or do I say articulated vehicles with containers, you know, they are taken in the most unlawful manner. Of course, I believe that the law enforcement agencies are doing their bit, but whether what they have been doing is enough is the question.
It's a known fact that in the absence of active law and punitive measures, Nigerians don't abide by rules. And in lieu of this fact, there is a need for relevant authorities to scale up enforcement procedures to punish any offenders in order to serve a deterrent and save road users from avoidable accidents caused by these human errors.
The Federal Road Safety Corps, one of our cardinal responsibilities is enforcing the road traffic rules and the regulation on our roads. And our men are everywhere, every day on the road, enforcing it. Unfortunate that the FROC is not armed, and we know the situation of most Nigerians today. If they are not handled properly, things become the other way. But we've been doing our best, despite the fact that we are not armed. We do our job with all modesty. The problem is basically there's nobody that is enforcing the law. If you go to under the bridge here now, go there now after this interview, just go and observe. I'm giving you an assignment. You see, what's it called? These yellow buses. They violate the traffic rule regularly, and you will see the last mile officer looking away. But the moment you are a private car owner, and yet they jump in front of your vehicle because they know that they will get money from you.
Anybody who is found, culpable should not be left, off the hook. Because we have sufficient laws in terms of traffic laws and regulations covering this area. So why do we have to remain where we are? Almost on a daily or a weekly basis, lives will be lost to this reckless, habit of truck drivers. Is this the way we will continue?
From Lagos, this is Lebi Joseph reporting for Galaxy TV News.
The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Development, Professor Mohammed Pat, has inaugurated Rehabilitation Technical Working Group to ensure the development and implementation of a rehabilitation strategic plan in Nigeria. Speaking during the inauguration ceremony, the minister acknowledged the significance of developing framework that would fast-track disability inclusivity in health, emphasizing the need to address disability barriers in its planning and implementation to achieving Rehabilitation 2030 initiative. The minister, who was represented by the permanent secretary, while calling on the members to deliver the strategic plan within the stated timeline, also stressed the importance of collaboration, knowledge sharing and expertise within the membership.
Are more susceptible to poverty, which further worsens their conditions. If Nigeria as a country does not address disability issues, barriers and challenges in its planning and implementation, it will not be able to achieve the goals of sustainable development and needed societal change. Distinguished members, ladies and gentlemen, kindly note that rehabilitation is a health service for people with a wide range of health conditions.
In his acceptance speech, the chairman of the working group expressed confidence that the group will execute its set objectives with due diligence and societal necessities, bearing that the task is national, a priority in fulfilling the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu's led administration in the health sector. Also speaking, the Registrar of the Medical Rehabilitation Therapies Board of Nigeria, Professor Rufai Ahmed, highlighted the various interventions of the coordinating minister towards strengthening rehabilitation in the country's health system.
In this committee, we will be able to prosecute the task that we have been given. I know that with their presence in the group, we will secure their cooperation. And we will also be able to collaborate through them with non-governmental organizations that are likely going to be funders of our activities.
And he has assured us that whatever policies come up, they are approved. In fact, we have seen this even from the establishment of this committee. Immediately, the community of the stakeholders until we had was brought up to the minister. He approved that this strategic committee or group should.
The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Okeze Kalu, has described the Southeast region as grappling with a severe humanitarian crisis marked by displacement, violence and ecological challenges, including natural disasters such as gully erosion. The issues, according to him, have destroyed homes and left many residents without shelter, clean water, health care, education and other basic necessities. Speaking at a roundtable discussion titled Through Their Eyes, a Call to Action, addressing humanitarian challenges in the southeast in Abuja, Kalu highlighted the dire conditions in Enugu, Imo, Abia, Anambra and Ebonyi State. The event, organized by the Office of the Deputy Speaker in collaboration with the Peace in Southeast project, aimed to foster partnerships and develop sustainable solutions to the region pressing ecological and humanitarian issues.
This geopolitical zone of Nigeria is grappling with a severe humanitarian crisis characterized by displacement, violence, and ecological challenges. The needs assessment report presented today underscores the grim realities. Over 268,000 internally displaced persons.
Key stakeholders, including the head of INGUS in Nigeria, Camilla Higgins, and the Director General of Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency expressed commitment to working with the Deputy Speaker's office to address these challenges. Overwhelmed by the scale of the ecological and humanitarian crisis, the stakeholders called for increased budgetary allocation in 2025 to enable their agencies to fulfill their mandate effectively.
The humanitarian situation in Nigeria remains dire. As of November 2024, 25 million Nigerians are projected to face acute food insecurity in the 2024 lean season, with the number rising to 33 million people in 2025. Conflict, climate shocks, and inflation are key drivers. In addition to the well-known challenges in the northeast, as we have been hearing today, rising concerns over climate-induced flooding and pockets of insecurity in the southeast amplify the need for coordinated multi-sectoral responses.
It would have been an easy task if we have the available resources. Now that poses challenges to most of our activities or services be rendered or expected to be rendered by most of the MDS in the country.
Our school feeding program, which takes care of over 9 million children in Nigeria, about 10 million children in Nigeria. We also have another program called Grant for Enterprising and Empowerment Program. Our handicap, sir. For almost a year, none of this program is functional.
The National Commission for Refugees is ready, Your Excellency, to partner and ensure that the Southeast this time around, particularly now that we are going into our budgetary discussion.
Victims of kidnapping have called on motorists, passengers and other road users to increase vigilance on our highways when traveling, as they also called on both the federal and state government to fix the deplorable condition of our roads in order to curtail activities of kidnappers and other violent crimes by men of the underworld who have turned some of these bad roads to hotbed for criminal activities. Correspondent Gabriel Odia sent in this report.
This is Naka-Makurdi Road of more than 15 kilometers stretch from Naka town to Makurdi, but now in a deplorable condition, which has been abandoned by previous government and has become death-trapped for many motorists and commercial motorcyclists, some of whom have been kidnapped and killed by armed raiders. But for these two victims, a pastor and the bus driver kidnapped last week on that same road paid ransom before regaining their freedom after 7 days in captivity. While bearing the experiences, they called on governments to improve technical colleges and skill acquisition centers across the country to enhance self-reliance among the youth, noting that those who kidnapped them were young men between the age of 20 and 25.
A group of people that came on the road with guns, some with cutlass, some carry 4 of us. The vehicle was boarded, 2 men there, myself and driver, and 2 women with a little child. While they were going with us, they separated us from the women. So I didn't know what happened to the women after. To me, it's very painful. Our country is at risk if the issue of youth are not taken care of. Because these people that I'm talking about, they are the age between 20 to 25.
We stayed there complete 7 days. So then before our people come talk with them, we don't release us. They are 6 in number. Small boy, small boy. When you don't even expected them in your life, and then they hold 2 fingers. Waiting to cross this river. The road is not good. But if to say there's a way, but if the road is good, small, it was better. Because immediately when you pass like this, when you want to change the job, they don't hook you.
We sent a sum of money, but they listened yesterday. And appeal to the government, let's try to secure our people, because when there's good road, that will know anything. Only you have a pattern of security. But once you have security, you have a lot of service. Appeal to the government to work on our road from Naka to Makurdi.
The Delta State Police Command has paraded suspected kidnap syndicate terrorizing Ughelli, Warri, Sapele and environs. The suspects were paraded at the premises of the police divisional headquarters in Ughelli. Our correspondent Dilip Hassan has the rest of the story.
Parading the suspects alongside recovered arms, ammunition, drugs and other incriminating items, the police public relations officer of the Delta State Command, Edafe Bright, said they were arrested through intelligence gathering by the CP Special Squad.
Based on intelligence gathering on the syndicate that specializes in kidnapping, armed robbery, car snatching and other vices. They even do SIM card swap around Ughelli, Warri, Sapele, Ogara, Abraka and Everons. This intelligence yielded result as on the 18th of November 2024, operative of the CP Special Assignment Team.
Some of the notorious suspects spoke on their involvement and advised against crime as the police spokesperson read the riot act to criminals in the state.
I was arrested through the kidnapping Omani Go Front, and they called me about the kidnapping, and that is why I'm here. I go along with one Mr. Sam, I don't know where he is in now, with one Igbo boy. That was why I'm here.
How much you collect from the person who kidnapped?
5 million.
How much reach you?
Because kidnapping.
How you take bring the kidnapping work?
You get one boy. Where he call Aya from my place, from my mother copper. The wife now call introduce because I they said though. The wife call tell me say man they follow husband they do the work when they do my get money. I call show am as he call tell me say na kidnapping I never do am. I call show am the man say this man if he get money when they sell cement. If they carry am, money go fit come.
Advice to them be say if at all you get that thing will be like say you dey put food for your table, no matter how small the thing be, no look am throw face, focus on that thing. Inside that thing, get how you go do and reach, bigger profit go come than for you to put hand into crime. Because me, I'm a cucumber farmer.
This is to let Deltas know that here in Delta State Command, we are not playing. And it is also a warning to all criminally minded individuals who are planning to unleash mayhem in Delta State. Delta is not a home for criminals. We will make it unhabitable for them. They will either be caught or they will be forced to flee. Wherever they want to flee to, I know our colleagues are there waiting for them, but certainly not Delta State, because we are here able and willing to tackle them.
Manhunt for the fleeing gang members of the syndicate continue, according to the police. From Delta State, Dilip Hassan reporting for Galaxy TV News.
And now we'll move over to the foreign desk for more news.
This is news from the international scene. Russia has expelled a British diplomat after accusing him of espionage, according to reports. The TASS news agency cited Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova as saying that the ministry has also summoned the British ambassador. Footage shows the British ambassador's car pulling up to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Moscow. State news agencies reported the country's FSB security service accused the diplomat, whose photo was shown on TV bulletins, of providing false information on his documents and carrying out espionage and sabotage activities. It added that the diplomat was a replacement for one of 6 UK diplomats expelled in August, also on espionage charges. It comes amid worsening relations between the UK and Russia since the latter's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Last week, it emerged the UK lifted restrictions on Ukraine using British-supplied Storm Shadow missiles on targets inside Russia for the first time. President Vladimir Putin cited the move alongside the launching of US-supplied longer-range missiles at Russian territory as behind Russia's decision to launch a new hypersonic missile at the Ukrainian city of Dnipro on Thursday. Expulsion of diplomats have become increasingly common since the war began. Earlier this year, British diplomat Captain Adrian Corgill was given a week to leave Russia, days after the Russian defense attaché was expelled from London for alleged espionage as an undeclared military intelligence officer. 2 days after deadly violence in Sambal left 4 people dead and many others injured, the city in India's northern state of Uttar Pradesh remains gripped by tension. The violence broke out on Sunday during a court-ordered survey of the centuries-old Shia Jama Masjid mosque that some Hindu group claimed was built at the site of a destroyed temple. Police said the protesters, most of them Muslims, pelted them with stones and that they fired tear gas shells and rubber bullets to disperse the crowds. They said 20 policemen were injured, but family members of the 4 Muslim men who died on Sunday alleged that they were shot dead by police, a charge the police have denied. Officials say the situation is now under control, but a large number of police and paramilitaries are deployed around the mosque and the rest of the city. The streets are really silent, littered with stones and dotted with ash marks where vehicles were set on fire. Local authorities have imposed a ban on entry of outsiders, social activists and politicians to the city until 1st December. Internet services have been suspended and schools have been shut. Police have registered 7 cases in connection with the violence and at least 25 people have been arrested. Police in Laos have detained the manager and 7 other members of staff at a backpacker hostel following the death of 6 tourists from suspected methanol poisoning. The tourists, 2 Australians, 2 Danes, an American and a British national, died early this month after apparently drinking tainted alcohol in the town of Vang Vieng. Several were staying at the Nana backpacker hostel. It is unclear how many people took ill. The death have cast the spotlight on the popular backpacking town and spooked tourists, especially women, as 5 of the 6 who died were female travelers. Several governments, including New Zealand, Australia and the UK, have warned their citizens about drinking spirits in Laos. Last week, 19-year-old Australians Bianca Jones and Auli Bowles died days after being admitted to hospital in neighbouring Thailand. Theirs were the first deaths suspected to be caused by methanol, a toxic, flavourless and colourless substance commonly added to bootleg alcohol. Then Danish authorities reported the death of 2 women aged 19 and 20 who died in Vang Vieng earlier this month. A 57-year-old American man was also found dead in Vang Vieng. Still on the international scene, a 3rd person, a man aged in his 70s, has died following a 2-vehicle crash in County Donegal. The man, who was taken to Letterkenny University Hospital following the crash on the N15 at Liscally on Friday night, has since died from his injury, Garda Irish Police has said. 2 men from Northern Ireland who have been named locally as friends Ryan Glenn and Cody Galbraith, who were travelling in other car, were pronounced dead at the scene. 2 women, one aged in their 30s and 70s, were also injured in the collision. A man has died following an assault in Finglas in Dublin in the early hours of Tuesday morning. Garda Irish Police are treating the incident as murder. Shortly after 30 minutes past midnight GMT, Garda and emergency services responded to reports of an assault outside the home on Dunsink Green. A man in his 60s was treated at the scene and subsequently pronounced dead at Connolly Hospital, Blanchardstown. Officers remained at the scene on Tuesday morning to carry out a forensic examination. In a statement, Garda said that the coroner had been notified and the Garda Technical Bureau and Office of the State Pathologist have been requested to assist in the investigation. The statement added that the post-mortem examination will be carried out. Garda has appealed to anyone who may have witnessed the incident or who has video footage from the area to contact them. Lastly, on the international scene, the world's oldest living man has died at the age of 112. His family have confirmed John Alfred Tinselwood died on Monday at the Southport care home where he lived. The lifelong Liverpool football fan became the world's oldest living man in April this year, when Juan Vicente Perez Mura died at the age of 114. His family said Tinselwood's final day was surrounded by music and love. Tinsleywood, who was born on 26 August 1912, the same year the Titanic sank, became the UK's oldest man in 2020. He was recognized by the Guinness Book of Records as the world's oldest man in April 2024. Born to Ada and John Bernard Tinsleywood, Mr. Tinsleywood, a widower, leaves behind a daughter, Susan, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. In a statement, his family said he had many fine qualities. He was intelligent, decisive, brave, calm in all crises, talented at math, and a great conversationalist. They added these qualities served him well during his military service in the Royal Army Pay Corps during World War II, where, in addition to accounts and auditing, his work involved logistical tasks such as locating stranded soldiers and organizing food supplies. His family said he had an active retirement, volunteering as a church elder in Bondusand United Reformed Church, where he also gave sermons. And that's it from the international scene.
And up next is entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Antonia Mwokolo. Here are the stories for today.
As the stars aligned to celebrate the release of this gripping film, we took a moment to speak with the producer about what brought this project to life.
I mean, like I said, the only challenges you faced with this production mainly was, like I said, when it was in the inception of it, because of what it is and what the genre is, when we were in script phase and when we were pitching the story, it was the case where we weren't getting too much. But when we made the film and people saw, it was a very easy sell. But we had that situation because of what it is and the type of story it is, and it's completely different from. And even if you watch the trailer, you see that it's like we're going for grit, not beauty. It's just everything that most Nigerians are not trying to do. And so once people saw the vision, they're like, okay, no, this is, and then it was an easy sell. So we did face some hardship in script phase. So we actually had to self-fund the film at first. Yeah, Jonas. But I believed in the project, and once the people saw the vision, they're like, why didn't they? A lot of people are like, why didn't they? Shit.
The lead actors also walked the red carpet, sharing their experiences working on the film.
Very, very excited. I mean, it's our big premiere. We've waited for this for so long. At the point, it was like, would this 24th ever come? Would this, people are saying, can the movie come today? Can we watch it now? Finally, it's almost here. It hits Prime Video 28th of this month in about 4 days. And I'm super grateful to God that people get to experience this. We shot it 2 years ago, and it's been in the works. It's been back and forth on the edit, fly it abroad, take it here, take it there. Prime Video is on board. Let's do this, let's do that. But people get to watch it now. We're done hoarding it. We're done working on it. People will experience it.
I'm super excited because it's a film that I'm really proud of. Working with the people on this set, on this film, it was great. So standing there, RMD, Omomi, Dada, Kali Kwago, and the whole world, a whole lot of people were on this project, and it was great. It was just great being part of Positivity. Tosin Igbo, guys, Tosin Igbo is a genius. That's all I'm going to say. But he's such an amazing director. He gave us the best environment to be able to create and perform as actors and artists. So it was great. It was great energy.
Hi Tosin, well done. You're such an amazing filmmaker. You're so brilliant. Thank you for coming up with this story, Suspicion. Thank you for putting us all together to tell this amazing story. Keep doing what you're doing, and see you on the next project.
Guests who attended the premiere were equally impressed.
So I've seen the trailer, and you can tell there's action, there's juju, or superpowers, yeah, literally. And of course, and because I've seen Tosin Igbo's films, so I know that this is going to be amazing, and I'm here to get an experience. Yes.
I just want everybody to enjoy the movie. That's what I want. That's what I expect. Everybody should enjoy the film. That's all.
My expectation for tonight is that what have not done by this night, by what you have seen, let it be better tomorrow. We want all the youths to tap from this success and task themselves to see what more to do. Because when there's different varieties of success, everybody has something to go home with.
I don't know. Nigerian movie has always been the best, so I just come to watch. Of course, look at you, look at you, look at you.
Thank you so much, Galaxy TV, for always supporting Nollywood. God bless you.
Watch your little baby girl. Thank you. All right, shout out to Galaxy Television.
Hello, my name is Tosin Eagle, and I'm giving you a big shout out to Galaxy TV.
And that will be all on entertainment news. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Antonia Mwokolo. Enjoy the rest of your day.
And that's all we have on Galaxy Primetime News. Thank you so much for being a part of the news.